Hi, I'm Gruenke, founder of The Balanced Runner, and I've been helping runners from beginner to Olympian improve their form and performance since 2003. And I'm here today with another stuck-at-home running form tip for you, and it is about fixing muscle imbalance without doing strength training. So this is really important to understand if you have either one leg stronger or more dominant than the other when you run, or if you have a noticeable strength imbalance, like one calf is bigger than the other. A lot of runners just try and do strength training to even out the muscle mass and strength on both sides, but this doesn't address the underlying problem at all. It's just a cosmetic fix. So let's talk about what the underlying problem is and how you can really fix it. Before I go any farther, please click like because you're going to like this. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell so that you get notifications of new videos. And be sure to check out all of the great resources I have for you on balancedrunner.com, including, in the description below, if you click on Show More in the description, you'll see a link to a free resource to help you run more evenly and even out your strength and your function on your two sides. So it's my best free resource for doing that. So now let's get into this. It's very common when new clients come to me, when online clients come, it's about breaking a cycle of recurring injury very often. And often they will note that they have one leg much stronger than the other or more dominant, or they have, again, like a calf muscle imbalance that maybe relates to a past injury. In that case, it's often an injury that was quite a while ago. So there's been a while for the imbalance to accumulate and become visible as a muscle mass thing. But very often this is also uncomfortable, feeling like your right leg, especially, most likely, is really tight and fatigued after a hard or a long effort, and your left leg isn't, and you just can't get that even, but you're constantly having to manage the tension or even the pain, the soreness on one side. So why does that happen? So it happens because you're not using your body evenly when you run. Like, duh, right? That seems like stating the obvious. But you have to remember that movement comes first. Movement precedes strength and it produces strength. So you don't run evenly because you have even strength on both sides of your body. You develop even strength on both sides of your body because you run pretty evenly. Nobody is perfectly even, but within a normal range of evenness, we could say. So a lot of times people feel like the stronger side is actually the side that's working better. And that's actually usually not the case. Usually, if you've got one side that's visibly, really built up, especially if it's feeling tense or sore or achy, that's usually because the way that you're moving, you're asking that side to work at a disadvantage. So again, very often with runners, it's the whole right leg. The glute is more built up, the quads, maybe the calf. That doesn't mean that you're working really well with that leg. It means that every time you have to support your weight on that leg and then push off from that leg, where your weight is in a place where it's hard for your leg to do that well. It's hard for your leg to support you. It's hard for your leg to push you forward. And that's why you get so much extra muscle on that side. And that's why it's also uncomfortable. So you can try and strengthen the left side to even out the muscle relationship all you want. You'll probably find that it weirdly doesn't work. Like the left side just won't develop the mass that the right side has. And it certainly doesn't help you feel more even. So what you really need to do is, what ideally you would do is have an analysis that would help you understand the difference between how you're using the left and how you're using the right. And always it's both sides that need to change, right? So because both sides of your body are working at the same time. So it's impossible to have a right side of your body and a wrong side of your body. They both wrong in different ways. But so something is going to have to adjust on your left in order for you to be able to use the right side evenly. Again, in the example I'm using here, the problem is nearly always that your weight is stuck on the left side. That would be your preferred standing leg. That's the leg that you feel comfortable on when you run. And that when it's time to use your right leg, your weight never really even gets fully over there. So your hip muscles have to work more to support you. Actually, I'm leaning that way, but it's much more that, let's see, you're good on the left, you're short on the right, so you don't really get your weight over there, and your side doesn't lengthen. When you push off, it stays short, so you push really hard for this long, and then you're done. As opposed to on the left side, you land, and then the side is really long as you spiral away from it, and it's really easy to push yourself forward and release your weight from the leg. So that's an example of how that can work. So, because movement comes before strength, again, if you try and strength train these differences away, you're just going to be carrying more muscle that you don't know how to use because you haven't addressed the fact that you don't know how to move in a way that makes the two sides of your body even. The free lesson that I've put in the description below is called Perfecting Your Foot Strike, but that's just one. I have to call these lessons something, though they address whole body movements, and so they actually have many effects. And Perfecting Your Foot Strike is one of my lessons that has a very clear and strong effect on balance, using the two sides of your body in a balanced way, and particularly in the part of your gait cycle that tends to cause the most imbalances, which is moving through late stance towards toe off. So when you're pushing off the ground. That's where, if your body isn't cooperating together, you're going to use excessive muscle. And this lesson will help you begin to feel how to even that out. And when you do the lesson, asymmetries that you notice are going to be informative about what is actually going on with your movement. What are the asymmetrical movement habits that you're bringing that are causing these muscle imbalances? So please go get that lesson, give it a try. If you have any questions, post them here. I always check viewer questions before I make my video for the week, so I'd be really happy to see your questions and answer them. So that's it for today. Thank you so much, and I will see you next week.